Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
We don't need to waste time. We need to get right into the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour because we need to help people. They need to know the truth. The preseason games are a total waste of time. They're JV games, and there is little that a player does in training camp less important than how he plays in a preseason game. How do you judge a player? He's playing against the second and third team players. How important has a JV game in high school been to the importance of the varsity team? Almost never. Ben Bress said, hey, Michael Jordan was on the JV team. Yeah, bring up Michael Jordan. And now, so we'll have Bryan Bulaga. People can watch the games if they want. They need to know the truth is, I think there's little, if anything, of less importance than how someone does in a preseason game. They would get rid of him if they could. I don't know, I guess they want to, if you ask the coaches. As Bryan Bulaga has told us, the workouts that you have with another team where they're playing their top guys, those should be the events. You have 18 games. You have 2 of these workouts, whatever you call them, Bryan will tell you, and that's the season. So that you don't have to lie, as everybody does, about the preseason games. They are JV games. Now, Bryan Bulaga can rip me whatever he wants. I will give him the final word. I will not talk, and tell us what is, in his opinion, the reality of preseason football now in the NFL. Take it away. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and that was a great intro. I mean, you made a lot of great points, and I like that you're wearing green for your upcoming trip. You know, I mean, that's great. So I'm excited for you. I hope you get to play golf. I mean,
No,
if you're going
no
to
golf.
Ireland.
No golf.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no. When I go on trips, and this is a family thing too. I never play golf. Just seems like nobody else plays. It's just too much time away. I have my own golf time, but I realize that's odd. If you're going to Ireland, Homer, come on, you got to at least play one round of golf. Maybe I will sneak away for 9 holes, but not taking any clubs. Thanks for kidding.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, at least I tried to show.
You did.
Some.
Yeah.
You know,
not necessary, but thanks.
Yeah, but you know, I had to. But okay, so on to the preseason. So you made a lot of good points. And the reality of it is, yes. I mean, you look at what essentially 3/4 of every game is it's, you know, 2s and 3s versus 2s and 3s. Yes, on teams, on 53-man rosters, there are guys that are on the 2s that will play with the so-called varsity team, as you put it. Those guys will play and most likely have a role in some way, shape, or form with the team as the season gets going, right? Injuries happen, things happen. So that's how I would say the GMs and the coaches are trying to evaluate guys, is based on, all right, we know we have 22 to 25 guys for sure, right? We know what those guys are. We need to round out the rest of this team, and where can we pick and choose from to like fill the rest of the roster in? Because obviously we all know injuries happen and things happen and guys have to play a role. But for the overall feeling of preseason, you're right. There isn't much meaning to it. I certainly take more out of what would happen in the joint sessions, way more seriously, the joint practices, that is, than what happens in preseason. Because if you wanted to get a look at, say, one of those guys from the 2s against another team's 1s, that's where you would do it. You would move him in and get him some reps against the 1s and see how he does in the joint session, and see how he performs. Because most likely in the preseason, we see it from every team around the league. Starters play maybe a series and then they're done. Maybe 2 series and then they're done. And there's just not. And if that's happening, that means the other team most likely would have their starters in going against them. So those guys aren't going to see those reps. So I agree. Preseason as a whole is not like it used to be, where you would learn a lot about guys It's more of a time for the 2s and 3s to try to make a name for themselves to just be added to the roster. And that, to me, when you put guys in more of a pressure cooker situation, which the preseason is, right? It's televised. It's in front of fans. It counts. If you make a mistake, the scoreboard lights up. If you're an offensive lineman, you make a mistake, your quarterback gets hit. You blow an assignment on defense, someone's running by you. So, like, there are consequences, which is there's a little more at stake. So you learn a little bit more about guys. Are they absorbing the information? Are they understanding the game plan? Those are things that coaches take from the preseason games. But from an overall, like, performance, like, are you looking at your ones to make sure that they're scoring touchdowns or going 3 and out every time? I mean, you'd like that, but it's probably not going to happen, right? Like, I mean, it just won't. I mean, obviously last season, Jordan Love's first third down, I think he threw a bomb and it was a touchdown. But, like, if that didn't happen, oh well, right? He still gets taken out the next series. That's the way it is. So to me, it's what happens in the joint sessions. These preseason games are just a little cherry on top for coaches to evaluate and GMs to evaluate. And that's really what it is.
Oh, a little cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
Round out the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And how much, in the importance of the GM, where do you think it ranks, rounding out the rest of the team versus deciding who's the first team, deciding who you're going to give money to, deciding how long you're going to go with first-round picks? Rounding out the rest of the team. Is there anything less significant than a GM does?
I would say.
Can I add one thing? I don't know that people knew there were third teamers. I don't think anybody knew that. I can't say I ever knew the third team whatever in the history of my time with the Green Bay Packers. Who is a third teamer on one of your teams?
Well, yeah, that I mean, there's a third string quarterback, and he goes in, and there's so many offensive linemen, and that group is the
in
third
the game,
team.
the third string quarterback, they don't even make active. They only make 2 active.
Yeah, but in the preseason, there's more guys active.
Right.
Essentially, everybody's active.
Right, but I'm
so
saying,
that's how
like,
you get the third
we're
team.
deciding positions that we didn't even know exist. Like, you were the right tackle, correct?
Yep.
Who was the third string right tackle on your teams?
Oh, like in season?
Yes.
Oh, man, that's a good question.
That's what we're doing. We're rounding out the rest of the team, right? We're figuring out who the third team guys are going to be, right? Mostly, my view is they're all special teams guys, used to be. Now, I think special teams have become irrelevant, but the coaches don't want to admit that yet because they'd lose jobs.
Yeah. It's funny because you normally had swing guys, right? Like, that's how you determine positions, and that's why you have to be selective with figuring out who you put on your roster, right? And that's the point. Like, that's kind of where I'm getting at with the preseason games. You figure out, things about certain guys to see if they can perform at certain positions. So say you want to see what Belton can do at guard and tackle. He's going to take reps at both. And can we rely on him to take reps at both? I get it's against the 2s, but can he handle himself even against the 2s? Those are things that you want to see. Like, you got to see it. Packer on Packer, like, practice is fine, but at the end of the day, like, that gets a little repetitive.
But back when you played, how's he going to do? How did he do against the 2s? Lottie freaking da! I don't care. The game is not the 2s. How did he do? You put him in to see how he did against the 1s for a little bit.
Yeah, but then let me say this though, like, the 1s when I was doing preseason for the other team may have played more. They may have been out on the field longer. Like, so that's the thing, and you just don't know what the other team's thinking when you make subs. They could keep their guys in for an extra series, and then your 2s are exposed to that. There are many a times that happened to us in preseason where the 1 line would come out, the 2 line would go in, and there would be the starting defensive line from whoever we're playing, and we'd watch and go, all right, guys, like, go to work. You're not expecting the performance or, the success rate to drop. Guys have to go in and step up, and that's how you evaluate guys based on that. I think rounding out a roster, right? Because those are the fine details that we look at the end of the season last year, right? Like, okay, so this is my point.
And I'm going to have a follow-up to your point.
So you laugh at that, which is
I don't laugh at it. You're going to bring up Philadelphia, and here's what I'm telling you: no one knew it was that bad because no one keeps track of players that far down.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to be able to make those decisions and make those, who you're keeping, and that's how you do it. That's how you round out your roster. Essentially, the guys.
No one considered it important because not you, who's the expert on offensive line, said, Homer, it isn't up there. We got a problem. They're rounding out that offensive line. They got garbage. If Jenkins goes down, all hell's going to break loose. Nobody said that because nobody watches the guys down at the end to know that it's that bad. Like, if you had known it, you'd have said they better pick up somebody. If Jenkins gets hurt, the game is over. That's how bad they are at second or third team.
I believe last year I was the one saying I hope they pick up a veteran O-lineman.
Yeah, but you didn't make it reference to if Jenkins would hurt. Your premise
I didn't know Elton was going to get hurt in the final game of the season.
A person there that can play multiple positions, so that never happened. Yes, I give you total credit for that. The biggest decision Goody made last season, and it's not even close, was having that player coming in that important a game.
Yeah, I mean, and those are the things. And I get that it's so minuscule when you look at it right now, right? Like, it is. Like, okay, we're deciding who the 50, 51st, 52nd, 53rd guy are. Like, who cares? But sometimes those are guys that you rely upon. And they have to go out and do it, and they have to play. And you have to somehow evaluate them and make sure they can do it. And that's the way they do it, by these preseason games. Like, because you're not going to give those types of guys as many reps in the joint practice than you want your starters to take. So you need to be able to evaluate them somehow. And that's the way. Like, I'm still not trying to put the importance of the preseason and blow it out of proportion, because I'm not. It is important to some guys, right? Like, some of these guys, and like, I'm not trying to get sappy here, because like, that's not really, I'm more of a realist. But like, this may be one of the only times guys get to touch an NFL field in games. It's the preseason.
You are making my decision, and you are making my point so well.
I'm just
when
saying,
you go, Mr. Rudge, this could be the chance of a lifetime. I don't care.
I get you don't care. I'm just saying the importance of them to the guys that play them. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that I'll give you. If it was family, I'd care.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. But but overall, I agree with your opinion. There isn't much significance to them. And you just want to walk away out of those games with no injuries. That's what you want. And that's what I hope happens on Saturday, if he decides to play the starters, which it sounds like he's going to do. That's what it sounds like from that presser. Whether he does or doesn't, or how long, I don't know. That's up for debate. We'll see. Maybe Jason will have more since he went to the locker room and got to talk to guys. But if it's me, right, maybe you don't agree, or maybe you do.
Actually, I'm glad you asked that question. I'm old school. I think there's a benefit to playing way more than they do, because I think you would play better at the start of the regular season. But clearly, coaches don't see it that way, and I don't know if there's any old school coach going, yeah, I'm doing it like we did it 10 years ago, like a Parcells did it or others. So the actions tell you more than anything, and the actions say that most coaches adhere and do it this way, and they must believe it, because there are enough that are important enough that they could, I don't care what anybody says. The first team's playing 3/4 of the third game or something. There's no one even saying that for a game. They seem to all pretty much accept the only thing that's important, the only thing, is that you don't get hurt. They do not care if they're prepared, or they care more that they're not hurt than that they're prepared. That's probably what I would say. And no one can argue that point.
No, you're right. No one can argue. You would rather have a healthy team than 100% prepared team week one. Like, you just do. Like, I mean, that's just the facts of it.
So don't play any games.
Well, here's the thing. For me personally, and I talked about this a little bit on Wildy and Tausch today. Like, if it's me, I'm putting the ones out there. I am not putting. Jacobs will not put on a helmet all preseason.
All right.
Jacobs will not, because he is not going to take unnecessary shots when he's going to take tons of them as this season rolls on. He doesn't need to go out there in preseason and get hit and get rolled into and have guys try to chop him down at the knees. Like, no, there's absolutely no need for that. And you can protect Jordan Love when he's out there. You can hand off, bootleg, 3-step drop. If you get a first down, great. If not, and you want to run 2 series, come back on the field and do the same exact plays, but flip them around and just get him out there to do things. You can protect him by just your play calls. So, like, there's ways to go around it to protect your guys, and especially defensively. Don't bring crazy pressures. Sit back in cover 2 or cover 3. Be super basic and do things that just allow guys to get a feel for the game. You don't have to do anything crazy. Protect your starters by the plays you call. But Jacobs doesn't need to touch the field. He doesn't need to touch the field.
Yeah. Now the good segment coming up. You're only a couple minutes away. Jason Wilde and Bryan Bulaga. I go to the cot. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We have 2 major incidents out in southeast Wisconsin at this time. US 18, also known as Blue Mound Road, is closed in both directions in the town of Elm Grove at Sunny Slope Road because of a crash. Emergency crews are out there right now to clear the area. Then if you're heading on 43 northbound, be aware that at the ramp from Kilbourne and Highland Avenue, the left lane is blocked due to a crash. So you're going to see backups starting all the way from the Marquette interchange. They don't clear up until you pass Burleigh Street. If you're heading on 94 southbound, be aware that backups begin at the Marquette interchange and they only clear up once you pass the Kinnickinnick River. Tonight, lingering showers, storms are possible. It will be mostly cloudy with a low of 70 degrees. Friday's going to be partly cloudy, hot and humid with scattered showers and storms with a high of 90 degrees. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Sean Brinda on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
So this is going to be, I think, a total win-win. Zach Tom gets the biggest signing bonus. He's going to average $22 million a year. He's locked up for 5 years now.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
But Green Bay showed yesterday why they are a self-sustaining operation and a world-class organization because they know what the hell they're doing.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
I'm living the life that I lived before I started having knee pain 10 years ago.
Meet Julie, a woman who makes the most of every moment in life. But over the last years, those moments were filled with agonizing pain until she discovered QC Kinetics.
Finally, the pain got so bad that people around me are like, oh, when are you getting your knee replaced? I was walking, hobbling. I listened to my last QC Kinetics commercial and I said, I'm done. I got to find out about this.
What Julie found out was that QC Kinetics treats pain associated with osteoarthritis with regenerative therapies, taking your body's own healing properties and concentrating them in the areas where you feel pain, helping heal and restore those damaged areas. No harmful steroids, surgery, or downtime.
It changed how I'm living. I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
Get back your life before the pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Best Marquette games ever, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Most memorable ever, if you consider the most famous postgame photo, February 5th, 1974, 59-58, Marquette over Wisconsin on a last-second 20-foot shot by Maurice Lucas. This still famous photo has a joyous Al McGuire jumping on the scorer's table, and the father of the opposing team's talented twin sons responding with a half a peace sign or the middle finger. And Maurice Lucas saying, Coach Al would have been hiding under that table if I had made that shot. If you're a company owner offering medical insurance for your employees, you may be sick and tired of the constant increase in rates or change in benefits. Now's the time to take a look at a different type of plan. At Saganiac Planning, it's called level funding.
an opportunity to keep premiums low and possibly receive a return of your premiums. For more information, call John Saganiak Jr., Level Funding, 262-783-6161. Saganiak Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Great right tackle, great partner, doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga. Take it away.
That's right. I want to talk to you about my friends at Surfside. Summer's heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Why I like Surfside so much? It just tastes better than all those other drinks you see on the shelf. It doesn't leave your mouth feeling like you just emptied a bag of sugar in your mouth when you get done taking a few sips. Also, a bunch of great flavors like my favorite, the half tea, half lemonade, peach tea, raspberry lemonade, and so many more. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripe, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
This is so good. If my cot was only as good as this discussion, Jason Wilde and the Doctor of Football, Bryan Bulaga, who always intros Jason because he's so nice. Take it away.
Jason, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. We need to work on this entrance, though. I think Homer should just introduce me and we should just go. We're wasting time.
Okay.
Actually, he's got a good point. Send me the script and I will use it. Nicely done, Jason.
All right.
You're welcome.
Fair
By
enough.
the way,
All
quick
right.
question. Great job on the Surfside Reads. You continue to be a great ambassador for them. I love the part, though, about feeling like you poured a bag of sugar in your mouth because that those other drinks taste like. Because remember Fun Dip?
Yeah.
Like, that's what that was. It was just pouring sugar in your mouth. What had we run out of ideas for
think
candy
so.
at that point?
Yeah, I used
Don't
to
get
eat
it.
a lot of those.
Really?
Unfortunately.
And that's what made you grow up to be an NFL player. Your secret
Yeah.
sauce was Fun Dip. Why
Yeah.
didn't it happen for me? I ate it too.
I must have had the super packs out in Illinois. I don't know what it was. But anyway,
Exactly.
I can tell Homer's getting mad at me because I'm wasting time.
I'm not.
But
Never
anyway.
get mad at this segment. Bye.
But all right, Jason, I heard the clip from LaFleur that it does sound like he plans on playing guys in the game. I mean, is that what you got from the guys in the locker room? Are starters expecting to play a couple series, or what's your take on what that means is kicking the rust off, and what duration should we expect to see from guys?
Yeah, I think one series for starters on both sides of the ball. And then I don't just think they'll be done for the day. I think they'll be done for preseason.
Okay.
Now, there's going to be some guys. Xavier McKinney's got a calf issue. He didn't sound like he was worried about the start of the season, but I do think he was worried about, or not worried, but confident that he wouldn't be playing on Saturday. So is that a big loss? I'm fascinated. I was actually going to text LaFleur because now I'm super curious. This whole, the NFL has data that indicates, that if you play in preseason X number of snaps, it lowers the likelihood of you suffering an injury in the first 4 to 5 weeks of the regular season by this %. Again, math is not my strong suit. I did well enough in high school to survive and keep my grade point average up, but I flunked out of second semester calculus at the University of Wisconsin. So I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about math, but I don't know how they figure that out. And clearly one thing that's not included and not said there is that there are guys that get hurt in preseason games. And yeah, it lowers the likelihood of them getting hurt in a regular season game because they're not playing in any regular season games. And I just saw Rashawn Slater, who obviously was not playing today. He was at training camp with the Chargers, just tore his patellar tendon, and he's done for the year. So, Look, that's what sucks about this game I don't know how often it happens that baseball, like say pitchers, suffer major arm injuries in a spring training Cactus League game, but this is what you're trying to avoid. And the Packers and Matt LaFleur are going to take the risk and try and make it as minimal as possible. As you said to Tausch and I this morning, of course you can, do things like have 3-step drops and get the ball out of Jordan Love's hand quickly so he's not putting himself at risk. But the moment you step out there, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Jordan Morgan here or Rasheed Walker, but we all know that whether it was you and Cliffy or you and Dave Bakhtiari, if Aaron Rodgers was playing or if Brett Favre before him was playing, they were only playing as long as their 2 starting tackles were on the field. And as soon as their starting tackles were no longer on the field, neither were they. And whether or not, having Jordan Morgan out there, who did not look, fantastic on family night, whether there's more risk by having him out there instead of Sheed, I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see what the game plan is to get the ball out of Jordan's hand quickly and keep him safe.
So would you expect Sheed not to play this weekend?
No, I think there's a good chance he plays.
Okay. I didn't know.
He was able, I don't know how much he was able to do today, but I wouldn't rule him out, put it that way. Do I think he's definitely going to play? I wouldn't go that far.
Okay. And then obviously you guys probably talked about it. I haven't talked about it because I just, I'm late on getting all my news because I'm on Twitter, I'm off Twitter or X, whatever it is now. But the Dobbs injury, right? And I know it's meniscus, at least that's what was, or at least that's what I read. How long is he saying, or are they saying for this injury? Obviously, pushing regular season opener is going to be tight, in my opinion, having my meniscus done, and I know how that feels. What's the timeline on that, or what are they saying? Or have you not gotten a timeline?
So the optimistic timeline is 3 weeks. He will have had surgery 35 days out from the first game. But again, first of all, the agent, right, is one of the sources on this, right? And Hobbs told us straight out that it is this meniscus. Now, I was told it was a small tear. So, and you know this from having done it, the 2 choices are you repair it, which takes a lot longer to heal and more invasive of a surgery, or you trim back the torn part. That's what, Doc McKenzie did to Maddie when she tore her meniscus and ran an entire cross-country season before she let him do surgery. That takes the drawback, and I know that there's, I don't know if it's the New England Journal of Medicine or whatever, but when they repair a torn meniscus, it re-tears 70% of the time, and then you end up having it trimmed anyway. He did not have his repaired. He had his trimmed. J.J. McCarthy, on the other hand, had his repaired, and I don't know this for certain, but I know he underwent a second surgery last year, which means he probably it didn't heal properly, and then they just trimmed it anyway, and maybe he wouldn't have had to miss the entire season had they not repaired it to begin with. So, you do come back more quickly from having it just the damaged part trimmed. Now, as you well know, as you limp around the farm, you don't, cartilage does not regenerate itself. So once it's gone, it's gone. And you're going to have issues later in life with arthritis and creaky knees and whatever else. But again, in Hobbs's case, what we were told is that it was a minor, small tear, which did not require significant trimming, which should allow him to come back sooner rather than later. But I would not use the word likely that he plays in the opener. I would say he could play in the opener. I would say they're hopeful he'll play in the opener. But I'm sorry, surgery is surgery. And even if you're a quick healer, it takes a little bit to recover. And he's been already doing the rehab. He had the surgery on Saturday, and already on Sunday he was, doing rehab stuff. But again, That guarantees nothing. And the one thing I would caution them to do, considering that today with Keyshawn Nixon, which I don't think was anything significant because I saw him in the locker room and I talked to him, but with Keyshawn Nixon having not practiced, their top two corners with the ones were Carrington Valentine, great, and Bo Melton, who I love as a guy, but I don't know if I love him as a number one defense corner at this point in his development.
So, so this is kind of what, we talked about this, you and I did. I know Homer and I talked about this. This is kind of what we were talking about, what could be if something happens in this DB room, right, or in the corner room. I get Nixon's fine, or he's going to be, whatever it may be, but say, I don't know, it has to be a game, right? And say for Dobbs, too, they happen to miss the same game. That's what that looks like at this current time, right? Like that's what the starting two corners would be. And say you're going against a Detroit or you're going against the Minnesota. I don't love that. It doesn't make me feel great.
No, and it shouldn't, right? And look, this always happens, whether it's on this show or our show or wherever. When I make a criticism of Goody, then I'm a Goody hater and I don't like him. And I've known the guy for almost 30 years. I like him as a guy. It's my job to occasionally criticize him. And I don't think he's got a track record that requires heavy criticism. I would say some of his first-round picks to this point have not panned out. I would say some of his second-round picks, like A.J. Dillon and Josh Myers, who played for them, obviously. But if you pick a guy in the second round, your expectation is that he's going to be good enough that he deserves a second contract. And neither one of those guys did that. And we know his track record in the third round for a number of years. So he has not been perfect. In this instance, my critique would be, I got no problem with him moving along from Jair. I saw something, he's already dealing with some sort of injury in Baltimore. He had 2 picks in a practice, but he also is, being limited and with some sort of injury. But I don't think they've done enough. They didn't do enough to ensure that they were safe if something bad happened to 2 of the 3 top corners. He said very clearly, I like our top 3, Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Carrington Valentine. Yeah, I like them too. And they can even live without one of them if, say, Hobbs isn't ready, because they feel really good, even though he hasn't fared particularly well in one-on-ones. They feel really good about Javon Bullard as their nickel slot guy. Now, again, he's a safety that I don't know how strongly they should feel about him, but they feel good about him. But you get down 2 guys, and then now you're playing Bo. And I love Bo, and I'm not saying that Bo, who has shown some really good things, can't be a good guy for you next year, or maybe even, maybe even the second half of the season. But he is still very much still crawling. He is not walking and he's not running as a corner yet. So the signs are encouraging. He's going to get a baptism by fire on Saturday if Keyshawn's also not playing. And good for Bo. That's what I love about Bo. Like, he talks today, he's like, I'm excited. I've gone against the guys that I used to be in the wide receiver room with for 2.5 weeks. I'm going to go against somebody else and see how I stack up.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, if the Jets play their starters, Garrett Wilson's pretty good. He's a pretty good player.
He's not bad.
Yeah. So they got a wide receiver room over there. So if say, you look at the defense from a standpoint, right? If you look at the corners and say both corners don't play, well, we know Hobbs won't play, but say Nixon doesn't play, then do we see Bo Melton essentially take a lot of this game, right? Does he take 75% of the snaps of this preseason game?
I think there's other guys they want to see too, right? They want to see, they know what Corey Ballantyne is, but he has been gone, so he's back now. Look, if they were playing the game tomorrow or Saturday and it counted, I think they'd probably play Ballantyne over Bo, right? Because he's playing the system. He started, I think, 7 games over 23 and 24. And let's be honest, too, like him and Ballantyne, saved their butts in 23. Like kind of like she did at left tackle. Those two guys played way over their heads in 23 to allow them to compete, right? I mean,
Yep.
Carrington Valentine was a rookie 7th-round pick. And other than Mark Tauscher, I don't know many rookie 7th-round picks that have played really well. So I think that's what they would probably do. But they also want to get an extended look at Kalen King, right? Because he spent all last year on the practice squad. He had a pick 6 earlier in camp on a play. But I think they'd love to see him get extended work too. They've got Micah Robinson, this year's rookie 7th-round pick at corner. They've done that each of the last 3 years. He needs to get more work. So they've got plenty of guys. I'm sure they're hoping that the Jets want to throw the ball a ton. But, again, the fact that Bo, this is not me running him down, it's just where he's at in his development at a new position. The fact that Bo is this close to having to be on the field at a position that he started playing on June 10th, that's not ideal.
And then I guess Homer and I got into this the first segment. Do you find the preseason, do you find any significance in it? Like, do you think that there's any significance in the preseason at all? Like even a little bit?
Yes, but I'm not sure I see it for the starters. Now, you did a great job this morning on our show, and I would recommend people to go back and either watch it on YouTube or check it out in audio form on the ESPN Wisconsin app or Spotify or wherever you like to get your podcasts. Because your whole thing about preparing and going out there and not, being out there and getting the butterflies out and playing a series, that there's value in that. Hey, look, I'm not here to tell you who played over a decade in the NFL, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm not that arrogant. But my one concern is, and I remember this, they used to play, this is unbelievable, by the way. They used to play preseason games. Stella can't believe it either. They used to play preseason games in late July. Edgar Bennett, who I know you had as a coach for a period of time, tore his Achilles in a preseason game, and this is embedded in my brain, on July 31st, 1997. And he was the lead running back for the reigning Super Bowl champs. His season, done. Now, luckily for them, they had a dude named Dorsey Levens as their number 2 running back. And all he did was go out and run for 1,497 yards and play great, right? Make it to the Pro Bowl, be named All-Pro. But the idea of losing a guy who was your lead running back on your Super Bowl team the year before to a torn Achilles in a preseason game on July 31st, that scarred me. And then 20 years later, I'll never forget this, taking a cab from the airport because my flight had been canceled the day before. I flew in day of the game to Pittsburgh. You were there playing, and Jordy Nelson tears his ACL at what was then Heinz Field. And you guys let's not forget, that 14 team should have been in the Super Bowl. I'm not trying to bring up sad memories for you. But you guys came back in 15 like on a mission. Hey, we're going to go out, and we should have been in the Super Bowl this year. We're going to go out now in 2015 and go do what we should have done last year. And Jordy blowing out his ACL took the air out of everything. Like, you guys got James Jones back. It's not like your season was over, but it kind of was. And so, again, I am just so scarred by that, and I am such a helicopter parent and helicopter beat writer that I just don't want to put anybody at risk. It's got great value for guys that need to prove themselves so they can make the team and have an NFL career. But for starters, I'm too scarred to say that I want guys out there.
Yeah, that sounds like what I said. Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
what do you think, Homer?
I'm just listening and hoping you'll get to the importance of the third team for the upcoming preseason game.
I mean, we kind of hit on that. Yeah, I mean, we kind of hit on that. I mean, we hit on that. Guys that are trying to make the team. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's what the preseason. That's the most significant part of preseason, is the guys that are trying. Homer got a kick out of it. I said trying to round out the roster. He didn't like the way I put that, or maybe he did like it.
Well, no, I
Or
do
maybe
like
he
it,
did
but
like it.
coaches
I don't
and GMs have no problem doing this without any preseason games.
Like Aaron Mosby last year was not going to make this team, and then he had like 3 sacks in the last game of the preseason, and he made the team. Now, I would argue that Christian Welch, who did not overlap with Bryan at Iowa, but, I mean, he had a phenomenal preseason. And had they not drafted Tyron Hopper in the 3rd round, who was not very good as a rookie, and they did not want him on the field, had they not drafted him, there's no reason they would have kept Christian Welch. I mean, they brought him back now that he became available again, right, after Baltimore cut him. So if that's the reality, though, is if you're a 3rd-round pick, you're making the team, no matter how bad you are. And if you're a ham and egger guy from Iowa who wasn't a 1st-round pick, they're going to cut you, even though you deserve to make it.
Agreeing with me even more.
Well, sort of. Yes and no. But kind of shades of nuance, which I know you do very well, Homer.
Doctor of Football, you had something you wanted to add? I'm looking forward to it.
No, I don't know if he's agreeing with. I think he's just adding on to his
pointing
point
out it can go either way.
Yeah,
right.
I think
I'll concede because we need a break. Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, ESPN Wisconsin app. He's on more than anyone, and he should be. Hey, Wisconsin sports fans, it's almost that time of the year. Football season around the corner on August the 20th. And please, don't call in unless you're going to actually use one of the spots. I feel like I should yell even more. Pebble, has anybody called in and then said, hey, I can't go?
They have not to this point, no.
Very good. On August the 20th, the fantasy football draft is back as ESPN Wisconsin takes over Potawatomi Sportsbook. Free food, great prizes, and the full VIP experience, all for fans 21 and up. And if you're caller now 10 and 11, we have 2 spots, 10 and 11, 1-800-990-3776. You will win a spot in the Homer Fantasy Football League. Today, we're rounding out the rest of the team. Caller 10, caller 11, both get a spot in the Homer Fantasy Football League. 1-800-990-3776. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We still have 2 incidents on the road at Blue Mound Road in both directions due to a crash in the town of Elm Grove in Waukesha County, so take a different route if possible. Then on 43 northbound at the ramp from Kilbourne and Highland Avenue, the left lane is blocked due to a crash. So try to find a way around that as well. But if you are on 43 North, backups start from the Marquette interchange and they don't clear up until you pass West Burleigh Street. If you're heading westbound, be aware that backups begin at South 16th Street through the same interchange and they clear up once you pass Mitchell Boulevard. Tonight, lingering showers, storms are possible, mostly cloudy with a low of 70 degrees. Friday, partly cloudy, hot and humid with scattered showers and storms with a high of 90 degrees. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Sean Brenda on 94.5 ESPN.
Milwaukee baseball was born in the Emerald City, but any ties to the Pacific Northwest were cut loose decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well. Born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Baseball is back. Bryan Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Whether you're headed to the ballpark or gearing up for kickoff,
Roll up in a ride that's game day ready.
at Tsunami Express Car Wash, you'll get unlimited washes for less than $1 a day, plus fast lane access, free vacuums, and detailing tools included in every visit. With locations across Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, New Berlin, and Mount Pleasant, there's always a Tsunami near you. Visit TsunamiExpress.com to sign up and score big all season long. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at more than 25 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that's Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
Well, the offseason's about getting excited, isn't it? So, let's get excited. Jordan Love joined Kevin Clark on This Is Football and gushed about the Packers' first-round pick, rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden.
He came in really polished and has been making plays since day one. He's got very aggressive hands. He's a smooth route runner. He's got speed. So you can see when he knows what he's doing, he's feeling confident. He's been playing lights out.
Excited yet? First look at Golden comes Saturday in the preseason opener against the Jets. I'm Alex Strofe.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank.
Need a mortgage? Don't look far. In your backyard is where we are. Visit a Tri-City near you. Get a great rate from your hometown crew. Tri-City National Bank. Equal housing lender. NMLS 433891.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Disco Auto Body. I tell you about them because they're good. You'll like them, and then you'll like me. Here's how it works. Pisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. On Forest Home in Franklin, it's a family business owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. It's still in the family. The Fiscos are still doing it. Imagine at what age they start doing it. That's why by the time they're doing it for you, they are so good, it's hard to believe. But not when you think about a family business. Pisco Auto Body and Forest Home in Franklin. Yes, after they thank you, eventually they go, Homer. Yeah, thank you. Expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. One quick question. I may have asked it before, but you have to accept that. It's nice of you not to say, Homer, that's the third time you've asked me this question on the show. But the best rookie, because so much is being said about the Packers' first-round wide receiver, Matthew Golden. And I want to believe it, but I'm a little skeptical. But I don't really know if there have been other cases of when you played all the years where right away somebody said or you said, damn, that guy's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be around a lot of guys that end up being great players. How impressive were they as rookies?
That's my question.
Like Elton, I think, was a really good rookie. I thought Elton played good. I thought Corey Linsley was one. I thought Jair Alexander, I thought he had a good rookie year as well. But it's really hard to see guys right out of the gate and know their rookie season, what they could become. I mean, they show glimpses and they show flashes, and you can build and you can, build kind of a picture around what they could be as a player off those flashes, but not like guys that stand out right away. Like, oh my gosh, like this dude's an absolute stud. Like it's hard to tell on guys, but obviously Golden's been making that impression with Love and guys there. So I'm hoping that continues. Obviously I will never put certain expectations on rookies to, do
really?
Wow. Yeah, no. Like
I'm not saying expectations, but just amazed knowing that how good you were. How can you be that good so early as a rookie? And you've made it clear that it just doesn't happen. And you're hesitant to believe it, even if you think it might happen, because it's just too early. Right.
Well, I think at receiver, it's difficult. Like I really do, and there were a lot of good receivers that played in Green Bay that weren't all-stars their rookie year, but then year 2 and 3 ended up being studs. Devontae, Cobb. I mean, I wasn't there when Jordy was a rookie, but Jordy's one of them. I played in the Super Bowl with Jordy when I believe he was in year 3 at the time. He wasn't even the number 1 guy yet at that point. Look how good Jordy was at that. So there's just it's a process for those guys because they have to absorb so much information on the fly and adjust. But it sounds like he's doing that. But the thing is, I don't want to, because of what's happening in camp and all the positive praise that he's getting, which, hey, if you're earning it, that's fantastic. I don't want to expect certain numbers or something from him when we go out there week 1 and we see him play, right? I just I think he's going to be good, and I think he's going to get incrementally better as the season goes on, as he gets more comfortable and he understands how teams are going to play him and kind of the speed and intensity of games and not just practice. He's going to get better. But right off the get, to expect him to be, Jamar Chase or Jefferson is just that's crazy. Now, if he is, hey, tip the cap to Goody.
But you'll be surprised. Not because of just him, but anybody. If anybody was that good that fast, you'd be surprised. Okay.
Yes. All right. Yeah.
Fourth quarter with the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Modernizing business technology is critical for a positive impact on efficiency and reducing operating costs. That's exactly what Tri-City National Bank found out when they called on James Imaging Systems. Listen to Bank CIO Robert Bryan.
We also went through a large retooling of our print environment, changing from where we had almost 200 printers.
All the way down to just 97 printers. That's managed print services from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company.
So being able to work with a local company like James that has that flexibility with their staff and being able to deliver for us has given us the ability to make the right decisions for our organization.
Robert, would you recommend managed print services from James Imaging Systems?
Yes, in a heartbeat. I would recommend James.
Learn more at jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
To help those who want to be helped but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Joint pain makes it hard to enjoy anything when it comes to life, let alone the small things like getting out of bed or walking down a flight of stairs. Whether it be hoping it'll just disappear or feeling like you've tried every other option, let me tell you, you haven't tried them all if you haven't tried QC Kinetics. This is Brad Nortman, and I have to tell you about my experience when I visited QC Kinetics at the Greenfield location. It was incredible to see with my own 2 eyes all the tools that they have to get you feeling your best and get rid of that pain for the long term. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, and they have cellular therapies that's going to get that pain away for the long term and get you living your best life again. Your pain-free life is waiting for you on the other side of calling QC Kinetics, because there is your free, no-pressure consultation where you can be evaluated, put on a personal plan of pain relief, and be able to tell if you're a good candidate for QC Kinetics. Grab the phone now and call QC Kinetics for that free consultation. Call them today at 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
Wow, a bomb by Yelich.
Join the crew for an electric matchup when the Brewers host the Mets August 8th through the 10th. The weekend starts with a celebration at Cerveceros Night on Friday the 8th, featuring makers markets, music, and more. Then don't miss an all-new Christian Yelich bobblehead giveaway on Saturday the 9th, courtesy of American Family Insurance. Close out the series with Sunday matinee baseball and a limited edition Jacob Mizorowski t-shirt giveaway. Grab your tickets at Brewers.com.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Not much time left, so he can't get mad. This is not one he would do. He's too positive a person for this kind of a discount liquor Twitter poll question. I just want to know what people will vote. Pebble, tell them what it is.
The Discount Liquor Twitter poll question today at the Homer Hour on X/Twitter. Who is the worst quarterback in the NFC North? Jared Goff, Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, or J.J. McCarthy?
Yeah.
The worst.
The worst, yes.
Right.
Well, I don't know anything about J.J. McCarthy yet, so I mean, I don't know how you could rank him above anybody else. No tape. Hasn't played a real NFL game.
You saw him play in college?
Yeah, that doesn't mean...
He led his team to a national championship.
Yeah,
and I understand the limitations, but you, as a college star and then played well in the pros, I would guess that you have a pretty good feel over all the time you've watched college going, I think that guy's going to be pretty good. I'm not sure about that guy. It's hard. Ron Wolf taught me that, so I'm not holding you to an impossible standard. You're picking McCarthy?
Yeah, based on just because he hasn't played. And that's what I have to go with.
I am picking McCarthy as well. I don't think he was that impressive even in college. He had one great drive. They basically ran the ball. But
McCarthy leading the vote right now, 44% of the vote. Caleb Williams, 41%.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, 15%. Jared Goff, not even a vote yet.
I think it's possible that Caleb Williams will be a bigger disappointment, but won't be as bad. That makes sense.
There's a good chance of yes, that does. That makes sense.
But I believe J.J. McCarthy will be the worst, and I feel much better about my opinion. You know why, Bryan Bulaga? You know why I feel good about my opinion?
Why?
You agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't happen that often. The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Go to the app, ESPN Wisconsin, for everyone. The worst. It's not his fault. Don't blame him. I'm the one who came up with the idea. Next.
We still have 2 incidents out on the road at this time. If you're heading on a Blue Mound Road, be aware that you may have to turn around once